Against? That's carried. Thank you. Now, item 25, taking Toi Otautahi, the Christchurch Arts Strategy, out to consultation. Okay, so I'm not seeing anybody indicating questions. I heard, oh, Jimmy, you've got a question? Okay, so we'll deal with questions first and then we'll come to moving and seconding. Jimmy, fire away.
This one, I just want to know, before, staff established draft the art strategy, you particularly mentioned consultation with the different kind of group, etc. But I just want to know whether we have been engaged with those multi-ethnic community or not. Because based on all the draft, the report particularly emphasizes, this strategy is aligned, is affiliated with the multicultural strategy. But if we have not yet, in the early stage, engaged with them, how come this one, to make that happen?
Yep. So we did have, on tēnā koutou, we did have representation from various communities and cultural and arts organisations participate. I don't believe there was formal engagement by the Multicultural Council, but through the consultation phase we would like to make sure or ensure that we had specific involvement to ensure that the aspirations of the strategy would meet a diverse set of needs and support a diverse community in the city.
Sorry, sub-question. So based on your answer is still after today, council adopt this draft one, then you'll go to the consultation, particular focus on not only the geographic area like a library, service center, you still would like to invite those kind of multi-ethnic leaders, to come to share their feedback, am I right?
Yes, what we offered a couple of focus groups through the development or the engagement phase of developing this draft strategy, and we're going to reconvene that focus group, but enlarge it and ensure that we've got a range of voices around the table to have a good discussion about this draft document.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's a particular focus that Jimmy obviously is bringing to the table by way of his question. I'm sure you've picked up the sentiment of it. Thank you. Are there any further questions? Yanni.
Just want to try and understand the increased expectation of financial support that this and levels of service that this could create. We don't have a clear understanding of that, and I just think it's important that we recognise that before we put it out for consultation, if we can.
So happening at the moment discussions between the partners involved in this, so that they include Creative New Zealand, Rata Foundation and Christchurch NZ. So there are active conversations happening, and we've got a resourcing meeting coming up. Throughout the process of workshopping this with the community, we've set out that this isn't necessarily an increase in resource, but a prioritising of resources that we have available, and so that's been stressed throughout the development of this paper. Conversations around resourcing are happening, and we expect that if this goes out to, if this is endorsed to go out to consultation, if we adopt and our other partners adopt the strategy, that we'll establish a joint leadership group that will drive and confirm those discussions around how we resource this, not just as a council, but with our partners.
So are we likely for the next annual plan to have a clear idea of what the levels of service and funding commitments will be required?
I hope so.
Right. And that's the time when we as councillors can say whether we agree to doing things in here or not.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. Any further questions? Anne?
I'm just wondering how the PAG group fits in here, the PAAG group. How does that fit into this strategy?
So certainly there was an invitation to, so Anthony Wright participated, he's current chair, in one of the workshops. I guess from a structural point of view, this is an overarching strategy. All arts organisations and those in the community have been able to feed into it, have had that opportunity, and we would certainly seek to have that input through the consultation phase as well. And so PAG, I guess, having some relationship to council and involvement with council staff who have also been involved at the steering group level, there's definitely been opportunity for engagement and conversation around that. Yeah. Oh, yep.
Thank you. Phil?
I'm just wondering on that question of PAG, do you think there's room perhaps for us to increase our council representation on PAG, so in fact this keeps moving?
I think if I brought it back to the strategy, I would see that as a council, if we adopt the final iteration of the strategy, then we would be seeking to make decisions around our involvement and investment in the arts that are in line with the pillars and aspirations of this strategy, if that answers your question.
It's probably not a question for Kiri to answer, in that she's not directly involved with PAG or directing PAG. So that's another matter we could bring back advice. I think there could definitely be a relook at the PAG membership at some stage and a refresh of that.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you. So, Yanni?
Just in terms of the process, it strikes me we're talking about the arts, quite creative industries. There doesn't seem to be a forum for which we can hear people's submissions as a council. It goes to the steering group, not really to us in terms of hearing what people have to say or seeing what they have to do. Have you considered having some elected members involved either in the steering group or a hearing panel type arrangement where we can be involved at a governance level around submissions?
I think during the consultation there's definitely opportunity for elected members to have their say. However that happens.
Could I just interrupt? That wasn't about elected members having their say. That was about elected members hearing what other people are submitting.
Right.
I think, we are
happening.
Planning on, during the consultation period, having a meeting where some of the partner, like yourselves as elected members and some of the partner organisations as well, can hear directly from the arts sector on their feedback on this. So it's just a matter of figuring out how that might fit.
Bring it to the heritage strategy, where you had some really fantastic workshops where we just went and observed.
Yep.
And then we had a kind of hearings panel, a community hearing panel with some councillors, which seemed to work quite well. And I just wondered, whether that was a possibility, or at some stage, if we've had the workshops and start getting that feedback, whether we have an opportunity to reconsider how it gets signed off, so that we hear as much information directly as councillors.
We think that's a process that I think all the partners to the strategy would value understanding and hearing directly. Feedback on this would be useful. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. So we've got a recommendation to receive the report and draft strategy and take the strategy out taking the strategy out for consultation. Do I have a mover for that? Phil? Right, okay. So we've just finished with questions. So obviously Pauline, you felt that you'd moved this, and Aaron, you felt that you'd seconded it. So let's take Pauline as the mover and Aaron as the seconder. That's fine. There was clearly something I missed as we went into questions, but that's all right. Now the opportunity for any debate or comment. Phil.
Thanks, Andrew. Just a comment. I think that the point that Councillor Yanni Johansson's raised now is really important, so that in fact at governance level too we have some involvement in this. So I think that's a process from here though, after it goes out to consultation, and as Yanni said, for the multicultural strategy. No, it was the heritage strategy, of course. That's where we had a panel of a range of people, including councillors. So I'm sure that's been noted though today. So in fact, we continue this good process.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. While I endorse this particular draft and the intent of the arts strategy, I think Councillor Johansson's right when it comes to raising expectations. We have currently plan after strategy coming before us, and every single time, like the QE2 Master Plan, we're raising expectations of future funding. And then we have people coming in the annual plan saying, well, you did the strategy and now you're not funding it. And I think that we need to be able to have that conversation with the community in a much clearer way across all of these projects and plans and strategies and policies. But also I think that we need to go through a process where we are much more strategic in how we prioritise the various strategies and the funding around them. And I'd like to see that as a piece of work going forward for the council. Thanks.
Thank you. Jimmy.
Thank you. Yeah. If we review the one of the council's community outcome, particular emphasis under the strong community. So the arts, same as culture, heritage, and the sport. Actually, my view, popular arts is also under the part of the culture. So that's a key spirit, core value, and our identity, our the well-being. That's very the crucial. So if we recognize, particularly if we review the paragraph 5.5, particular mention of council policy and strategy, direct the relationship with some of strategy, the multicultural strategy, one of them, and also post the kind of the mosque attack, the event on 15th of March. We need to more, and also we declare this city is a city of the peace and city of inclusion, and we embrace all those diversity. Then probably in consultation time period, I strongly, to emphasize we need to follow the kind of the heritage strategy model, because heritage strategy model is a good before establish one. They engage with wider community feedback. Then they establish the draft one, put to the consultation and feedback the council. Appoint the particular for the hearing panel to listen that one. That is a kind of the overall, more kind of the process, Then we can make the document, particular strategic document, more practical, more implementable, more inclusive. I think that's very, very important. I don't want to the strategy, document eventually become just put on the shelf. This is my concern.
Thank you. Yanni.
Just quickly, I just want to acknowledge that I firmly believe that creative expression has been a huge part of our recovery after the earthquake and after a number of significant events, including the terror attacks. And sometimes creative expression doesn't sort of fit into boxes or strategies or action plans. It just kind of happens. So when you're driving home and you see a beautiful handwritten creative sign on a fence that says "Love lives here" after the terror attacks, it just adds so much to how you're feeling. And so I think, I understand the need for a sort of strategy, but to me, I just hope it doesn't limit people's ability to creatively express themselves in our city. And part of that creative expression, I think, particularly in Christchurch, is sort of unorthodox, unique, and doesn't necessarily conform to the standard boundaries that we may have. So I think, at the end of the day, this is going to go out for consultation. I really am concerned around the idea that creative industries requires more investment, more money, when sometimes actually it may be just doing things differently or enabling things to happen that can't happen. For example, we have a beautiful wall on the side of this building that we have no street art on, and yet we support street art festivals, we encourage others to do it, and we've got a blank canvas just sitting out here that probably could be used for very little extra money. So I think creative industries has been so important, creative expression has been so important to us as a city, and I strongly support it and commend the creative people in our city that just contribute so much. I think what's really important, and hopefully through this consultation, is that we as elected members can really be clear about what people's expectations are and how that is supported through our processes. I do believe that we often undervalue creative people in our city and in our community, and they absolutely should be recognised and rewarded for the work that they do. And for a long time, I think it has been undervalued. So I look forward to getting the results of this. I look forward to the collaborative processes that hopefully will continue. And I look forward to us coming up with something that really enables that creative expression to continue and be enhanced in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne?
Yeah. Reinforce those fine comments. Thanks, Yanni. I think that this is almost like providing coat hangers on which we can hang those beautiful things that we know are in our community, and it is so beneficial to our soul as a community to acknowledge and uplift the arts. So thank you for the work you've done, and hopefully as we go forward with this, it will bring to the fore again that voice that we may have lost a little bit over the last 9 years, and really begin to honour again and strengthen those things that, as Yanni has said, just lighten our lives and bring joy. So thanks for that.
Thank you. So I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Against? That's carried. Thank you very much indeed. Thank